than this. Well, it's a bigger problem than that to me, Joe. It's the whole problem that is the temptation for the church, rather than to be the community of people that serves the world, is to end up being the community of people who serves itself. I mean, when we talk like this, it always concerns me at the point of whether you're being wise or whether you're just being a coward. Now, do you remember this last week when we were talking to Bill, who represented one of the more action groups in race relations, Nagale? If I was willing to do the things he said I ought to do as a Protestant minister in the cause of race relations, and the things that he's doing, the things that he's doing when he told us about having his jaw broken in a picket line and spending 2 days in jail with a broken jaw, and saying to us, if we really cared about these things, we'd come to the courthouse in this small county where he was having so much trouble and picket and stand in the line and sing. Well, the moment I did that, in 30 days later, I probably wouldn't have any influence on anybody in the congregation, whom now I feel that I'm leading forward a little bit at a time. And I mean, I really am caught up emotionally at this point, you know. Whether sometimes when you think you're being wise and moving like you are, maybe you're just being a coward, and vice versa. Maybe sometime when you think you're being brave, you're just being a fool.
This may have been true 5 years ago, but I think it's becoming more and more true that the Protestant minister and layman is going to have to be more vocal and active in this area. And I think Bill may have a point, that we've been quiet too long, and the quietness has outserved its usefulness, so to speak. We've moved along fairly well with a quiet thrust forward in race relations, but the issue is so crucial, not only here in Little Rock, but I think beyond Little Rock, until more people have become more vocal as a result of Bill's thrust.
Well, you know, I think his answer's got to sting us all, because I think there's truth in it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think that there are more kinds of action than the kind that Bill himself is engaged in. Now, not all of us have the kind of temperament or the kind of ability to go out and fight battles. The battle that Bill wins by fighting that hard has got to finally be negotiated in some way, because you just don't have things done just by war, just by battle. I think he's really struck us all at home, and we feel guilty when we see others who believe as we believe in the brotherhood of man, let's say. And they are out on the front lines and are actually getting their jaws bashed in, and they're lying down in front of trucks and things like this. And sometimes, like you say, I feel guilty. Joe, why don't I go out and lie in front of a truck somewhere, you see? But at the same time, there's also got to be negotiations with groups. There's also got to be prayer. There's also got to be the kind of activity that works together in committees like we're doing here in this area. There's all sorts of activity. These young fellows are out in the front. We must thank the Lord, I think, for their efforts. But we can't all be that kind of fighters. I hope this doesn't sound...
No, as I looked at this man, I wondered if he didn't have a battle to fight.
Well, this is the point.
If he could live. I mean, he was a different kind of person from me. I mean, I wish I don't know whether he's right or wrong, but somehow I know that I can't do just what he's doing. And I think if it wasn't this battle, there would have to be some battle that he had to be fighting. Maybe not a moral battle, just a battle. He just seems put together to fight. And when he doesn't have this kind of pressure over against him, and I may be judging the man too harshly.
But you made the statement that if you were to try to do what Bill wants you to do, that within maybe 30 days you would be out of your job at this church. I happen to believe that Richard, as the minister of my church, is fighting a battle too. When he gets up at session meetings, at men and women's meetings, and in the church itself, and tries to relate us to our community and race relations and every other effort. I think this is a battle, and I think this is a fight, and I don't think you have to be ashamed of it.
that we might show the world that men who don't agree, that men who have nothing in common except our oneness with Jesus Christ, can be that miracle community who goes forth from this place where it's gathered for worship into the world to show the world by our concern for its problems, for its suffering, for everything that breaks it apart, that we too follow him who can bring unity out of discord and honor out of disobedience. Amen.
Do you know where you're going, boy? You sure you know where you're going? Well, no, but... Rick, Elizabeth, can you get across by yourself? All right. Let me take you across. Okay.
Is it this way?
Okay. I get it. You sure it's this way? Yeah. All right.
Remember when Paul got stuck in the tree, Elizabeth? What? Which tree was it? I don't know. It was over there in the meadow.
Ricky, you remember we came down to see this cypress tree once. There's just one big cypress in the middle of all these other trees.
It's over on the other side. Over on the
How
other
far
side.
over?
Just right across the meadow.
Just across this meadow. All right.
Look at that beautiful old tree.
You know, when DeSoto came here down the Arkansas River and discovered Little Rock, or named Little Rock, that tree was here. He could tell us all about the Osage Indians and the Quapaw Indians that lived in this area.
Soda didn't name it.
That's tree first.
DeSoto didn't name Little Rock. Who named Little Rock?
I don't know, but DeSoto did.
Come on, young'uns, let's go home.
In our home, we're trying very, very seriously to enable our children to realize that the important thing about living is giving yourselves away. Because we're Christians, we take our children seriously. Our children have rights and privileges as a member of this covenant community. The father is the priest of the home, but at the same time, the children have a right to discuss, they have a right to question, they have a right to even doubt what their father says.